Here we are, post-Lit Fest.
What's our little title, our intro? This is Anna and Sally at the Emirates Festival of Literature.
I don't know. I've gone blank. Do we have to call it anything?
I don't know, probably not.
Probably not. Just say who we are, don't we?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Anna Roberts.
And I'm Sally Prosser.
And we both live in Dubai.
Yes.
You love food.
Yes, I do.
A lot more than I do. I do love food, and I am a feminist through and through. You also are a feminist.
I am.
And we've come together with our love of books for the Emirates Airline Festival of Literature, which I have never been to before, but Sally, you've been every year.
I have been every year, and it had its 10th anniversary this year.
Amazing.
So it's been fantastic, yes.
Now, we teamed up because we wanted to try and get far more access.
Well,
to the Lit Festival.
Yes, I don't know why. What was our reasoning? To have a broader view. So I go in with a food and drink angle and just a geeky reader angle, and
I sort of came in with a feminist perspective because there's obviously a lot of female authors this year at the Lit Fest. I wanted to experience it firsthand. I wanted to be able to see what all the fuss was about.
And it was over International Women's Day as well this year.
So it coincided really well with the Press for Progress panel. So we combined forces.
We did.
We took this to the Lit Fest team, and they gave us pretty much open access to everyone.
To some of our absolute, knee trembling. I was a super fan of some of the people I met this year at close quarters. So instead of just being in the audience, which is always fantastic anyway, I was in a room with some legends.
And you had
real legends.
You had 15 minutes or 30 minutes in some cases just to ask whatever you wanted.
Yes.
So these are a few of our highlights from the Emirates Airline Festival of Literature. The very first interview that we did was with Rhianna Pratchett, who is Terry Pratchett's daughter. Now, I hadn't read any of her books. You hadn't read anything by her
No,
either.
I'm really not into. Well, no, I have read. I did read one of her father's books.
Yes.
But I was fascinated to hear that she is a games writer.
So she wrote the relaunch of Tomb Raider in 2013, and that's really how she's been able to establish herself in her own right, living under her father's shadow for so many years.
And it is a shadow.
Yes.
I think she was really quite, she said, I don't want to talk about my father.
She was, very open and direct when I asked her if there was anything that she wanted to sort of avoid, and that was very much it. So this clip that I want to play now is actually, I guess, a real insightful part of, really getting to know somebody in person, because she told us that she had struggled through a lot of personal hardships in 2017, and to hear somebody talk about that firsthand, who normally you are presented with their work first rather than them as a person, it was just so insightful. So here's a little bit from Rhianna Pratchett at this year's Emirates Airline Festival of Literature.
In 2018, I had a beloved pet die. I was engaged and that broke up. I've had to move house. It's been 2017. I'm very glad to leave that behind. And I'm hoping 2018 is the year I start getting some things made in film and TV, because I've started doing more work in film and TV. And I've been developing stuff for quite a long time now. And now I'd just like to get something made. So it's kind of. I think when you cross ladders, you never get to cash in the points you've earned in another entertainment industry into TV or film. You have to start at the bottom and work your way up the ladder again. So that's something I'm sort of doing, and finding new challenges. I think has been important in sort of improving myself as a storyteller.
Next up, Melissa Hemsley, who I knew nothing about.
Well, I knew from reading things online, and it was very damning, actually. A lot of it very damning. A big backlash about clean eating and excluding food groups, which I am pretty anti myself. So I tried to have an open mind, but I came with a little bit of baggage. And actually, she was really down to earth. She said that she'd been lumped in, her and a sister who have done cookbooks together, but Melissa was here to promote her first solo cookbook. But she was delightful and much more down to earth, sensible.
Yes.
We had so many common interests in food. And I did say to her, don't you just want a big slice of bread sometimes? She said, I eat bread. She was more about prioritising vegetables, and everyone who met her across the whole time she was there said how nice and down to earth she was, and she did stuff with Cook for Syria as well. I think her heart's in the right place, and her cookbook, there's loads of delicious stuff in there, and she's very much about the everyday cook and lots of just down-to-earth tips like how to rescue burnt food, things like that, and all sorts. So yeah, it was a real pleasure.
People know who to go for when they want a recipe, so they might be like, oh, I always do Nigella at Christmas, or I always do Jamie for a birthday cake or something like that. And I think that I'm now getting known as, I'll do a Melissa on a Monday night when I've got no time. I'm really happy to have that slot. I don't want the pressure of doing like a Melissa Christmas. No! I feel like I'm good at like Monday when you're knackered and it's 8 p.m. and you don't want to go out to the shops. So I think I'm pretty good at, because this is how I grew up, eating, like helping people work out, like I call it a fridge raid, or going into cupboards and like store cupboard staples and helping people work out, you know, what could you have in the freezer that could help you and save you time and shave off 10 minutes during the week. I'm really good at packed lunches. Oh my God, I'm sounding terrible. I'm really good at, but like I'm good at the bits that aren't the very sexy bits.
Claudia Roden had some interesting things to say about Italian food, which I think I'd like you to see this clip now.
And he said, do you know which book now is known all over the world, has made Italian food famous all over the world in 120 countries? Guess who?
Jamie Oliver, probably.
Yes. And he showed it.
Yes.
But the whole thing about Jamie Oliver's film is he goes there and he shows them how he does his way, which is completely different to what they do.
Madhur Jaffrey, she had some really interesting things to say about food when she first came to the UK.
There's no good food.
No.
Other than fish and chips, which is better then than it is now.
Okay.
It used to be superb.
Yeah.
So I lived off that a little bit.
As you can tell, I've been a little bit poorly, so Sally had to take one for the team and interview not only Cheryl Strayed, my all-time favourite author, but also Kate Adie, one of the most hardened and experienced, it's probably two really good words to use, journalists. I threw her into the lion's den really with Kate Adie, didn't I? Maybe if we do that first, we'll save Cheryl Strayed until afterwards.
But we did also have a chat about food in a war zone and how you should not take pot noodle.
And the one thing I learned from a cameraman who insisted on occasionally bringing film, that you cannot eat pot noodle without boiling water. It is sawdust.
Right, okay.
But Cheryl Strayed, just you were enamoured with her, weren't you?
Well, I was. I was very new to Cheryl Strayed. I sort of really didn't know much about her at all. So I suppose that was an advantage.
You know, I know people listening to this might think, oh, it's easy for her to say because she's, you know, but I'll tell you, I have worked long and hard, you know, and I've also faced rejection, and I know what it feels like to think, is this ever going to turn into anything? And what I came up with is, you know, that I really had to learn how to measure my success, not by that, does it get published or not, or does it become a bestseller or not, but rather, did I do the best work I could do? Did I give this piece everything that I could give it? And if you can answer yes to that, you're a writer and you've done your work.
That's
and
the reward.
You just keep going.
So that's our roundup of the 2018 Emirates Airline Festival of Literature. We hope that you enjoyed some of our favourite moments from the festival. If you do have anything else that you want to share with us, or any other questions and bits and pieces, something that we can prepare maybe for next time if they'll have us back, then do let us know, and thanks so much for watching.